Well, welcome everybody to another affiliate mastermind brain trust of the amazing community we have here at Mailbox Power. Today, we have a very unique persona of somebody that will be either using our system or not using our system, depending on what we come up with today. So each and every week we come together as a group. We have a persona of a potential customer that we like to use our collective brain power to help either get unstuck or have new creative ideas in order to use the Mailbox Power ecosystem to ultimately get their phone to ring. So I have in my hand the trusty persona, and this one comes a little bit from Mike and Brenda Sanchez. Several weeks ago, we asked everybody to submit potential personas for this call. And so I sort of combined a couple of personas together to make one, just because I think it was really unique and interesting. So I'm going to read the persona. There's going to be a couple of minutes while I do this. I'll read it twice. And then I'm going to invite you guys to open up, take yourselves off mute, and add into the conversation. It doesn't matter to me whether somebody's given that idea once before, because each of us brings a new idea or a new spin or a new twist to the persona. Okay, so our persona today. Oh, I'm excited about this one because I'm anxious to see what you amazing folks come up with. Okay, so today is a chiropractor. Today is a chiropractor. Okay. And she is in a, let's call it a small-ish town. So she's not in Denver. She's probably in a Colorado Springs type town. So not too big, not teeny tiny, bigger than a village, smaller than a city. Okay. Although someone's going to get all mad at me that I didn't call Colorado Springs a city. It's the Springs, right? So, so this is a small-ish type environment. Okay. She does have a retail space, meaning she is in a strip mall. Okay, well, strip mall-ish, medical building. It could be a medical building or a strip mall. Okay, and she is trying to get back into the swing of things coming out of COVID. Okay, they were hit pretty hard during COVID times, and they are trying to come back from COVID. Now, here's a couple of things that we know about this chiropractor. Okay. This chiropractor is a little bit behind the times, They only have paper records. They are not hip on the computer. They're not super technically savvy. They deal with mainly paper records. She does have a little bit of a retail space, which means she does have obviously a place to have people come get their backs cracked. But she also, inside of that space, has a little retail center set up. So she sells things like essential oils. She's a little bit holistic in her approach to chiropractor. I don't even know what the chiropractorism. I don't know what the word is. She likes to have a different perspective. So she has like essential oils for sale. She sells some alkaline water out of there. She sells some like back scratchers and back massages. So she has a tiny retail space primarily for her customers. She doesn't have like a bunch of walk-in traffic to buy that stuff, but she does have those customers come in and do that. I would say that she is a follower. She is not a leader. Okay, she is a follower. She is not a leader. Okay. The easiest word to describe this persona when talking about Mailbox Power and direct sales, the word that kept coming up in our interview was skeptical. She's skeptical. I don't really know what that means. I'll leave that to you. We'll help get her unskeptical. Now, here's the interesting thing. She demands proof before she will use Mailbox Power. Okay, so there's no, she's not even going to sign up for a trial. She's not a customer of ours yet. She's not going to even sign up for a trial until she has some proof. Okay. So that's what we do know that she used to have a thriving business. Okay, so pre-COVID 2019-ish, she had a thriving business. So let me repeat what we know about her. She's coming back from COVID. She uses primarily paper records. She does have a small retail location. She's a follower, not a leader. She is very skeptical. She demands proof before she buys. She used to thrive. And here's the question at hand for us. Either what would we suggest she uses Mailbox Power? How do we suggest she uses Mailbox Power to demonstrate the quote proof that she needs, or what tools, stories, things could we put in front of her to help break down that barrier of skepticism? Okay, so those are the tasks. So we either need to prove to her that it works, we need to suggest some things that she could do so she could prove to herself that it works, or what would we show her or put her in front of or invite her to do, so on and so forth, to remove that layer of skepticism. Okay, so with that, let's open it up. If you want to share, love to have you either just take yourself off mute, raise your hand. I'll do my best to kind of moderate. And at the end, I had this exact persona a couple of years ago, and I'm going to share with you exactly what we did. And to say he, in my case, it was a he is thriving at the moment. So with that, let's open it up. Debbie.
So I think they need to do a little bit of work beforehand. And
who needs to do some work beforehand?
The chiropractor does.
Okay.
I think the paper records are a challenge, and so I would probably suggest hiring an assistant or someone. It's hard to do a VA if the records are all paper, so they'd probably have to hire a teenager of their own, or some kind of assistant to get all of those records at least in a spreadsheet that could be uploaded, if not into some kind of CRM or something. So I think that's the first thing, and that's just going to help how they do business in general, not just with Mailbox Power, but I think it's going to help everything that they do. And then once they have those, okay, so because they're a skeptic, my approach to this would be, okay, how much do you pay for marketing now? Do you advertise anywhere? Do you put an ad in one of those local flyers or Valpak or anything like that? How much do you spend on advertising? Can we redirect that money for 1 month? And I will send it out on your behalf, because you don't want to have an account until you know if it's going to work. So I will design a card or a postcard that once you get all your people in the spreadsheet, we will send to your previous clients, inviting them to come back into the space, whether it's some kind of, we have to have one of those unbelievable offers, invite them, buy one, get one free, correcting adjustments, whatever, and get them to book an appointment back into the clinic. And then take the results, tell them they need to bring the card with them, whether we send them a postcard or a card, whatever, and have the chiropractor collect those cards. And then at the end of the month, go back in and say, okay, give me the cards. How many did we get? Okay, so you booked X amount of appointments off of it. You see it works. Now we're ready to sign you up for an account, right? So that would be my approach to their skepticism. I think doing a little bit of the work and having them pay for the postage and the cards that are going out. I'm not doing it for free. Maybe my time is free, maybe not, who knows, but just having them pay for only the postage and the cards that go out, I think is a great start for that. And then once they're on the system and loving the system, I would help them with their retail center in using our postcards to promote a specific product. And we all know that you're going to promote the products that you make the most money on, right? And even if it's a loss leader, we're going to have some kind of product like that that really brings them in. They want to get in there to get that additional free product or really inexpensive product, what have you. And then I would also introduce them to the list builder and do the area right around their building so that they show them how that for 10 cents each or 25 cents each, if they do new movers, they can get a list of people in their neighborhood. And yeah, so that's my starting thoughts.
Okay, awesome, Debbie. I love that. One thing on the list builder that just triggered me in my head was it would seem to me that rather than just kind of doing a shotgun approach to people in the neighborhood, for example, using the neighborhood technology, would be to look at personal injury attorneys and be able to market to the personal injury attorneys, those folks that are representing people that have been in car accidents, motorcycle accidents, boating accidents, those type of things. So food for thought on that. So great job, Debbie. Awesome. Leah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Debbie covered a lot of what my thoughts were, but I too would put together a reactivation campaign, and I would head that out with my existing customers because it's easier to get a customer back than it is to find a new one. And I would make that a two-time, an irresistible offer ×2. So I would have some sort of a service offer, and then I would also do some sort of a retail offer. And I would put in my reactivation campaign something non-threatening, like that we're updating our records, because I think that would be a good one. Plus, it would give you an opportunity to also reach them with the link for updating records. Give them 2 touches instead of 1. I would make sure that they understand the lifetime value of a client, so that that will help them to be able to understand what's at stake. I love your idea about marketing chiropractors to personal injury attorneys. But Debbie pretty much covered pretty well what my thoughts were as well.
Okay, awesome. Great job. Thank you. Geraldine McDonald.
Hello. I would, I want to make sure I understand. Do they not have any kind of an email list? Is it just strictly?
They're pretty archaic. This is, you know, she likes to play a little bit off the radar. She's probably not, I don't know this for a fact, but she's probably not running her business like a traditional business would be run.
Okay.
Lots of Post-it notes and 3x5 cards and paper records. So the real answer is, Geraldine, I'm not sure. She may or may not have a CRM tied to point of sale.
Well, and that's no problem. My first thought would be to say, okay, listen, you need some proof. We've got the proof. So I'm going to create you a very strategic flyer to put into a frame to put on your counter. And what it's going to say is that we are starting a birthday challenge, and we're collecting addresses by scanning this code with your phone. Everybody's probably going to have a phone that walks in their door. And if you enter our challenge and enter your information, you're going to get something in the mail from us. And over the next 2 weeks, if we get 50 minimum entries, then there's the proof that a pro account for $49 will give her 50 free cards to send out to those customers, a birthday card, and show her that it works.
Ooh, I like this, Geraldine. So let me give back to you what I heard, because I think this is awesome. And if I'm off, tell me. But we would use the Mailbox Power system to create a document or a certificate, essentially, either one, where we create a hey, we love to celebrate birthdays. As a patient of ours, we want to be able to celebrate your birthday. Scan your phone over this QR code and join our birthday club. And what we're doing is we're using that as a way to, going back to the non-threatening, whoever said something about being non-threatening, I think it was Leah. It's an easy way to see what the engagement would be of her customers. And that might be the proof that she needs to bring her over the line. Is that correct?
That is correct. And it's also an easy way to explain a piece of our business in a very easy way to build excitement, to create some community with her customers, and also just show her that this is a fun way to get started in connecting and building relationships through Mailbox Power. And not have to be overwhelmed with all the other, a piece at a time. This is a good starting point.
Awesome.
To then present all the other things that are valid ideas.
And what I also really love about that, Geraldine, is it's something that she could sign up as a trial for 14 days and not actually feel like we're asking her to spend a bunch of money to get the proof that she needs. We're actually taking a step back and saying, hey, let's check this out for 14 days. Let's see what we can come up with.
Right. Well, and we know this is not going to happen, but let's just say nobody wanted to sign up. That would be proof that might not be the campaign or the product or the piece of the product that would work. But we know that everyone's going to want to have a birthday celebration. So that's just going to build excitement, give her 50 free cards when that trial ends. And all she has to do is pay the postage.
Absolutely. And Geraldine, what I love about that is part of this is going to go to train the front desk staff, right? Because if it's just laying there with no engagement from the front staff, we may not have very much excitement. But if the front staff, the front desk staff is prompting the person, that's where I think we're going to get the win. So just taking this a step further, what I might suggest even doing is having some way to track which front staff is generating the most birthdays, and we give a prize to that person.
Well, and on top of that, you can have a nice birthday display at the counter with some balloons and possibly one of our gift basket or gift collections to show what the possibility of the birthday recipient would be.
Awesome. I love that. Who else has a couple of ideas to help this chiropractor? She needs our help. She's desperately needing our help. Debbie.
So something that could work after she has an account, like we've got her past the hump now. She's got an account. I think that she could work with some other trades that are similar. So maybe it's somebody who does mobile yoga who would come in like once a week or once a month or however often and teach a yoga class in the studio, and she could use their list to do some co-branding with. And so she just has to find the right types of businesses that support her business. So anyone who's into that holistic medicine. And so maybe she finds a holistic doctor that she brings in once a month to do a seminar or something, and collects all of the addresses. And so that doctor is going to post about it in their office, is going to talk about it. And while they come into the chiropractic office, maybe they get some kind of free screening or, whatever. So just to have all these different businesses work together and build their database by sharing information.
I love that. And just thinking out loud kind of on some of those people that she might connect with. She might connect with personal trainers that specialize in sports injuries. She could work with the local schools and colleges for those sports injuries that occur out on the field. She could also work with the people that are in her same sort of building area. to be able to do that cross promotion. The other thing, Debbie, I thought about is, you know, she could bring in somebody that does foot orthotics and foot braces, where you come in and get your spine screened or your posture screened. I love the yoga studio idea. Those are all great ways to co-brand and co-market with people. Pilates and yoga studios, and even maybe massage. Maybe somebody comes in and does. Maybe somebody comes in and does chair massage, and if they come in and get their they get their back and neck worked on for a couple of minutes. Awesome, I love that. Sorry, I just had another idea I'll share at the end. Awesome, let's go, Marie Benoit.
Thank you, Casey, and good morning. I know Debbie already has her as a client. She's gotten her past the.
We cracked the skepticism right out of her back. That's what we did.
But if she were still skeptical, just other tools that I'm thinking of would be certainly some of our video testimonials could be shown to her. You know, I would pick out some specific ones. And then the other thing is, if she's in an area, and I think that she probably is, where some other business owners that she might be networking with, although it doesn't sound like she's definitely necessarily a networker, but just other business owners in her locale, she might pay more attention to their testimonial rather than one that we actually have right now on video. That could help bring her over the edge.
Awesome. And Marie, thank you for bringing that up. You know, one thing that kept coming up for me when I was writing this out was, you know, Joe and Vanessa do these amazing lunch and learns, and there are several of those lunch and learns that would be really applicable to just say, hey, I understand your skepticism. I'm going to create you this birthday certificate that we send to you to get to collect birthdays. So between now and the time that arrives at your office, let's have you watch these 3 or 4 lunch and learns, just so you can kind of get an idea of business owners just like you and how they're using it. So I love that. Some of those testimonials, some of the lunch and learns. I mean, those lunch and learns, in my humble opinion, are one of the least utilized tools that we have at our fingertips, especially when somebody is skeptical, or my favorite one is they quote, see the value, but they're not signed up. By the way, that's code for they don't see the value. I'm just saying this, they see the value, they're going to sign up, blah, 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 is code for they don't. Otherwise they would, right? So awesome, Marie. I love that. I absolutely love that. Anybody else want to help this chiropractor out? Okay, so if nobody else has anything, I'm gonna chuck in my 2 cents here. Because I have this almost identical persona. So I'm going to kind of give a couple of ideas, and then I'll share with you what we actually did for this client. So number 1, the little retail center is my favorite component of this entire thing, because it gives us a reason to actually send some stuff out. So if she gets over the hump of skepticism and she is on board, I would probably set up a 12-month or a 12-card postcard, at the very least, campaign highlighting a different product that is sold at the retail store. So you never know what is going to trip the trigger of getting somebody to coming back into the store. So that's number 1. Number 2, because she's holistic-ish, I know that she's really tied into how her intuition feels and how she is made to feel. That's really kind of where her love comes from. So the first thing I would do is actually create an amazing surprise box, a wow box, if you will, to drop on her front door, so that she actually understands the physicality of receiving a big package and how that makes her feel at her core. So I would try to give her the experience that we're going to then play on forward. So those are a couple of things. Somebody mentioned it. I don't remember quite who mentioned it, but so I'm going to share with you the guy I worked with, very similar in this. The one thing I started with him was to make sure that he understood and was able to give me give me a lifetime value of a customer. I wanted a number. And that was the number by which we were going to determine whether the results were sufficient enough for him to come aboard. Okay. So in his case, he gave me the lifetime value of a customer of about $5,000. Okay. Now I'm sure in different areas and different practices, those numbers are going to be higher or lower. But in this case, it was $5,000 for the lifetime value of a customer. And so the thing that he didn't want to have me do was mess up any of his relationships with his current patients. Okay. Because he was skeptical, right? So what I said to him was, look, why don't you give me a list of 100 people that are that you have written off? I said, how long is that? And he said 3 years. He goes, if they haven't been in 3 years, we pretty much write them off. I said, okay, cool. I said, well, give me a list of 100 of those people on the 3-year or later list. Okay, 3 years or later. Now, going back to something somebody else said, I made him pay for this. Okay, so I asked him to spend the money for 100 cards. And what I told him was that if he wasn't happy with the responses that we got, that I would refund him the money out of my own pocket. Now, secretly, I knew that wasn't going to be the case. It was $100. It's not a big deal. But if it needed to, I wanted the story and I wanted to figure out if this would work. So for me, it was the $100 risk. I knew the results before we started, so I wasn't super concerned about that. But I took away that risk and I tried to give him that irresistible offer. We're going to talk to people that you wouldn't talk to otherwise. I know your lifetime value is $5,000, and I've got you to the point where you're going to at least invest $100. Okay, $150, whatever it was. Okay, so here's what happened. We sent out a card. On that front of the card, it had his staff on it, and it said, "We miss you." And on the inside, it was pictures of the office, and it was some sort of fun message about, hey, you haven't been in a while, so we just wanted to send some pictures of our updated office, but we haven't talked to you. We miss you. We don't know where you are. Please write us, text us, email us, come into the office, do whatever, send us a smoke signal. Like, we made it really fun about just reach out and tell us where you are. If you've moved, in his case, he was really family oriented. So he had lots of pictures of his kids and his dogs inside of there. So it was really about, hey, we're a part of your community. We haven't heard from you in 3 years. We're just catching up. So it wasn't selling anything. It was just basically, we miss you. Tell us what's going on. So here are the results. The results are, after 2 weeks, we had 42 responses. 42 out of 100 people responded. Now, some of those were returned cards because the addresses were bad. A couple of people had passed away, so we counted those as responses. Many people called or texted, swung into the office, but we had 42 complete responses. Out of those 42 responses, we had a whopping 22 booked appointments that came out of that. 22 people rebooked appointments. Now, if you do the math on this, that $100 investment, if we go with the lifetime value of a customer times 22, you're at about $110,000 of business based on a $100 campaign. It was instant skepticism removal, right? And so funny, one of the things that the next iteration was, oh my gosh, what do I have to pay you to not tell any other chiropractor in our city? Right? Because he started to see that it was literally a secret weapon. So those are just some things that we have at our fingertips. Anybody else have anything they want to add in that maybe they came up with or thought of while we were going through that?
I love to marry messages and with products, right? And so I was just thinking about our hot sauce. You know, they've got the little ghost pepper hot sauce, and this might be a stretch for some people, but you know, maybe you could send a package to those people to get them back in that says, "Has life been kicking you in the butt? Let's come back in and get adjusted so we can get you, you know, straightened out and on the right path," or something. I don't know.
I love the ghost one being, are you ghosting us? Right? I mean, you could have some fun with it. And one of the things about the chiropractic space is that most people that have chiropractic issues, it's an ongoing thing. So we don't know why people actually leave. My argument would be mostly it's convenience. I'm going to a chiropractor, my back all of a sudden hurts. I can't get in, so I have to go to another one, and then I switch. Right. So I think the reason we were so effective in bringing those folks back was we just reconnected with them. In that, I love that. We could go down a whole list of things if she was willing to spend a little bit of money, different packages that we could put together to bring those folks back in. So awesome job. Anybody else have anything they want to add in?
I was just going to say that now we also have a lot of healthy snacks, you know, the apple rings and the nuts and stuff like that. So those would be good offerings instead of brownies if you want to be real holistic and, you know, for the birthday campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Love that. Love that. Okay, you guys. Well, this has been fantastic. If you are a chiropractor or somebody that's a little bit skeptical, please use this video, use these ideas, get with the person that invited you to take a peek at Mailbox Power and see if we can help get your phone to ring. That is our goal here. We'll see you next week with another fantastic brain trust mastermind, helping the Mailbox Power ecosystem find new and exciting ways for you, a prospect or one of our customers, to get a better use out of the system. So, ciao for now.